When you're building a new organ, it's a very different thing than when you are restoring one or putting together restored components and pipes to make a larger entity. The new organ builder gets to put his name on the console, whereas the restorer, there's already someone else's name on the console, someone else who he knows very well is a far better and more renowned organ builder than he will ever be. When you do restoration, you sort of have to take your ego out and put it in a box and put the box on the shelf and not take it down and look at it again until you're through with the job. The concepts here have been to make something that was just a little bit larger, a little bit grander, a little bit more flexible than Skinner himself could do. In the 20s, there were practically ironclad rules of organ building. Skinner himself took the 19th century ideas and just enhanced them, inflated them a little bit, blew them up into something that was grander. That's what we hope to do here, was to make something that's a little bit grander. How that's done actually is a little bit mysterious. I'm not sure that I understand the process myself, but I do know that most organ builders have an idea, even when they're apprentices, that someday they may build a magnum opus. And for a restorer, that means that you start saving really dynamite pipes, components which have a sparkle to them. You start saving them very early. There are barns in New Hampshire that are filled with more than hay. It's a lifetime accumulation of certain ranks of strings, of diapasons, of flutes, of reeds. And at some point in my career, I knew that I would start getting all of these things out of the barn and incorporating them into the present instrument. Here also, we had an opportunity to build a larger instrument than most, and a more flexible one. Because it's down both sides of the church, and because a lot of things happen in this church besides a worship service that's centered on the apse, what if the center of the service is at the back? Then the whole organ needs to be turned around so that you have everything that you need to accompany a service there. What if a religious opera takes place in the church and the orchestra is on the north side, all the seats are turned around, as has happened, and the whole opera takes place down the length of the church? That means that the north side of the organ is going to do all of the work to accompany the orchestra. There may be nothing from the south side. We had to think in terms of a flexibility that perhaps most organ builders don't have to think about. It stretched the design in many ways and over many years. This wasn't, the initial idea is one thing, but to bring it into reality, to actually get all of those, saved pipes out of the barn and get them to play here in the church, that's another matter.